Hello and welcome to Paper Plays Julie K.
Welcome everyone, and thank you so much for stopping by to check out my latest video. And today I'm continuing to work on the hashtag Little Bits of Lace 2024 started by Cori Dahmen here on YouTube. If you open up my description box, I do have a link to Cori's channel. I also have links to all of my previous videos, and I have quite a few. And again, the premise of this little challenge is to use up little bits of lace in our journals. And so I've been working on an envelope flip journal where I'll be putting all of these items in that I've been creating. And I think today is going to be kind of my last episode of different ideas, just because my journal is getting very full. I still have more ideas, but I think I'm going to stop here for now. And then I'll put my journal together and see where I am at. And this is more of an item that I think I'm going to try and hook on the outside of my journal. I'm going to hook on a tassel. I think that'll be really fun. And also, I think I will show you guys how I'm going to bind my journal and everything. And then I'll do another walkthrough video. But I do realize that my journal has gotten pretty fat. So I am going to kind of deconstruct it and reconstruct it a little bit. Just so I can fit my whole signature in there. So I will be doing kind of a little tutorial on that too in this series, kind of a craft with me. But getting back to the idea for this video, we are going to make a tassel. And I just realized I need to grab one more thing. And so what we do need to make the tassel that I'm going to make today, there's all sorts of fun tassels you can make. You can make like wine cork tassels or tassels on like vintage wood spools. You can just tie some ribbon together. Kind of a basic tassel would be to take your ribbons and trims and kind of fold them over. And then you kind of tie around them. And then that's kind of a basic tassel. And we're going to kind of do a little bit of a version like that. I like to start off with like a ring. And usually I use a little bit bigger size ring. Here's some that I've purchased in the past. But I'm going to use a little bit smaller one today. And basically what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take my leftover bits of lace. And we'll just see how many we can fit on here. And all these pieces of lace I believe are 12. I tried to pull out anything that was 12 inches or less out of my pile. And so I'm just going to string them through this ring. So pretty simple. And not all my pieces are the same length. You can see that. I also found some bead trim in my stash that I'm trying to use up. So that one's longer than 12 inches, but we're going to use it. And I also like to usually add a layer or two of eyelash trim to my tassels. So I'm going to throw some of that in here too before I get going too far. I have some pink trim. So let's go ahead and add that. So again, you can see the ring. And all I'm doing is just putting my piece of lace in between it, and then I just hold it down in between my thumb and finger just to kind of keep it in place until I'm done. I have some rickrack trim that I'm going to add. I just like to add a kind of a wide variety of things. You can add ribbons, you can add laces, you can add trims. This one seems like a good one. Yarn, you can add yarn. Just trying to find one I haven't stuck in there yet. Let's stick this one in. I'm going to add another layer of eyelash trim. And another layer of the bead trim. Getting kind of full, which is what I want. I like this method because you don't have to necessarily have all of your laces in trims the same length. It's a great way to use up scraps. Oftentimes I like to make them a lot longer than this, but since we are trying to use up little bits of lace, and I'm defining that as 12 inches or less. I only tried to grab trims that were 12 inches. So so it's not going to be quite as long as I normally like them, but it'll work. I'm going to add maybe another layer of this rickrack trim. I think I can fit a little bit more in there. And you can make it as full or as not full as you want. Just whatever your preference is. Maybe find one more piece here to put in. And I'm going to do one more layer of the eyelash trim again. So I think that's the third one maybe. For me, I can never have too much eyelash trim, so I'm going to go ahead and do one more. I just like the way it looks. And since I'm trying to use up this bead trim, I'm going to add another layer of that. And let's see. Maybe one more layer of lace. If you're having problems getting it through towards the end, just use something like a scissors or something kind of pokey to poke the end through. So I think that's pretty full. I'm happy with that. And so the next step is I'm going to tie it. And I usually like to use a little bit of hot glue or regular glue. But I'm going to like tie, you can use a ribbon or another piece of lace, and I just like to tie around, so like kind of like that. And so I think I'm going to use that ribbon that I just had in my hand here, this leftover piece of ribbon. And so I'm just going to put a little bit of glue . I'm just going to do that one more time around. I'm just going to wrap the ribbon around one more time since I have enough in this scrap piece of ribbon that I have left. So I think I went around twice with the ribbon. Now, if you're happy with that look, you can just leave it, but you can decorate it up a little bit more if you want. Like, you could put another piece of applique on it. I also had this small applique, which is what I think I'm going to use. You could hang charms on here. You could also add beads to the lace or add it to the eyelash trim if you wanted to do that. Little ribbon roses like this are always pretty. But what I might do is, so I have another, sorry about that guys, that was my alarm that just went off, just to remind me that it's time to go up, but we'll finish this real quick. It's supper time. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to fold this kind of in half, this piece. I'm going to glue that on the front. And then I'm going to stick that little applique down, but I am going to bunch up a little bit of eyelash trim first on it. And I'll glue that applique onto the top of all that. If I end up finding another piece of this applique, I'll probably glue it on the back side, but I'll have to dig to see if I have any more of that left. But for now, I'm going to call that good. And so what I will use is a bulldog clip. And I'm going to have a little gourd pin or a bulb pin. You could also use a safety pin, and I'm just going to hook that through the one side of this bulldog clip. I think that's what you call them, or a clip. And it'll just hang from the journal. Let me grab my journal real quick. So here's my journal. You guys can see it's really fat. I am going to have to add to the cover, and I still have the spine to put on. I haven't sewed it in, but I'll do that in another episode. But I did want to just show you if this was your cover. Right now, like I said, it's not attached or anything right now. But if this was your cover, you could easily then clip your bulldog clip onto the side, and then you have your cute little tassel. If you'd rather have it hang off the front, you could also do that. When mine's finished, mine will be hanging off of the spine, but I just wanted to show you guys that idea real quick. So again, thank you so much everybody for watching today. Hopefully you enjoyed today's episode of making a cute little tassel with leftover laces and trims. And I will be back again later to show you how I'm going to reconstruct my cover to make it a little bit bigger so that I can add my big fat signature to it. And then we're going to go ahead and sew it into the cover. And then after that, I'll do another video of paging through everything. So hopefully I'll see you guys back for another episode. Until then, have a wonderful day and happy crafting.